India, the mega diverse country, is celebrating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative of the Government of India to commemorate 75 years of independence and the glorious history of its people, culture and achievements.
As a part of the celebration, Social Statistics Division, National Statistical Office, Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation is organizing a seminar on Data for Sustainable Development, India's environmental accounts and its role in policy and decision making in hybrid mode on 20th June 2022.
India has a long history of research on environmental aspects, ranging from theoretical concepts to its practical applications. But despite having vast richness of findings, these studies could not be concretized into a full set of accounts due to lack of comparability in the methods and definitions used.
In order to help the official statistical system, a high-level expert group under the chairmanship of Professor Sir Partha Dasgupta prepared a roadmap for compilation of the environmental economic accounts in India in compliance with the system of environmental economic accounts.
India adopted SIA in 2018 and has been regularly compiling environmental accounts. Till date, India has released 4 issues of the publication covering forest, land, cropland, biodiversity, water and other ecosystems. These publications covered extent, condition and the flow of selected ecosystem services.
NSO India has compiled ecosystem extent accounts which record the total area of each ecosystem classified by type within a specified area for land use and land cover, land degradation, wetlands and forests. The data source for accounts related to land is National Remote Sensing Center, while for the forests the data has been sourced from India State of Forest Report.
Some of the highlights of the ecosystem extent accounts are: the extent account for land reveals that the extent of built-up land cover has increased in 2015-16 from 2011-12 due to conversion of farmland and fallow land to urban land. The ratio of land consumption rate to population growth rate has also been compiled on an experimental basis for 52 million plus cities using GHSL data for 2000 and 2015. This indicator compares the growth in population with the growth in the footprints of urban areas. This is also one of the global indicators for SDG, namely 11.3.1.
From the wasteland extent accounts, we can know that the extent of mining and industrial wastelands has slightly increased in 2015-16 from 2008-9, while the extent of degraded pasture has decreased for the period.
Wetland extent accounts shows that Gujarat has the highest percentage of total wetlands area. As per the forest extent accounts, India has 23.34% forests of total geographic area in 2017-18. Sikkim has the highest percentage of recorded forest area to the geographic area. Arunachal Pradesh has the highest share in growing stock, followed by Uttarakhand.
Ecosystem condition accounts record the condition of ecosystem assets in terms of selected characteristics at specific points in time. Over time, they record the changes to their condition and provide valuable information on the health of ecosystem.
NSO India has compiled state-wise soil nutrient index using the data from different cycles of soil health card scheme launched by Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, which shows that nitrogen fertility status has been generally low in all cycles except for Nagaland.
Water quality accounts for ground as well as surface water depicts water quality as well as volume available for designated use. Coastal Water Quality Index were compiled for year 2011-15 based on the data received from National Center for Coastal Research.
Cropland condition accounts highlighting intensification, fragmentation and diversification of crops over the years have been compiled using data from Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. The percentage distribution of area operated by operational holdings shows that the percentage of small and marginal areas are increasing while that of large area is decreasing over the years. Also, the effective number of crop species which represents the crop diversity in the country is around 18 and it is also increasing over the years.
Condition accounts of forests, which includes biodiversity assessment, a stock of carbon and forest fragmentation, has been compiled using data from India State of Forest Report. The forest fragmentation analysis shows that the average patch size of forest is 0.95 square kilometer. Ecosystem Provisioning Services accounts record the supply of ecosystem services by ecosystem assets and the use of those services by economic units including households. The ecosystem provisioning services are those ecosystem services representing the contributions to benefits that are extracted or harvested from ecosystems. Along with food, other types of provisioning services include drinking water, timber, wood fuel, natural gas, oils, plants that can be made into cloths and other materials, and medicinal benefits.
NSO India estimated district level provisioning services provided by croplands for 2005-6 to 2017-18 using data from Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare. The estimates highlights that some of the states like Punjab, Haryana, Kerala, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh have high proportion of districts falling in high level of crop provisioning services.
In addition, state-wise estimates of timber and non-timber provisioning services of forests were compiled for the year 2011-12 and 2017-18. During the years 2017-18, it is observed that value of timber provisioning services is about 0.10% of India's GDP, while that of non-timber forest products provisioning services is 0.06% of India's GDP.
Ecosystems provide many of the basic services that make life possible for people. Regulating and maintenance services are those ecosystem services resulting from the ability of ecosystems to regulate biological processes and to influence climate, hydrological and biochemical cycles and thereby maintain environmental conditions beneficial to individuals and society. Regulating services include pollination, decomposition, water purification, erosion and flood control, and carbon storage and climate regulation.
State-wise estimates of soil erosion prevention services using the revised Universal Soil Loss Equation model were compiled for the years 2005-6, 2011-12 and 2015-16. The results show the amount of soil loss that could be prevented when land cover is croplands instead of bare soil.
State-wise estimates of carbon retention services using social cost of carbon approach were compiled for 2015-16 and 2017-18. The results show that the estimated value of carbon retention service for the year 2017-18 as rupees 438.49 thousand crore, which is 2.58% of GDP. For 2015-16, it was estimated as rupees 411.70 thousand crores.
Cultural services are the experiential and intangible services related to the perceived or actual qualities of ecosystems whose existence and functioning contributes to a range of cultural benefits, including how ecosystems play a role in local, national, and global cultures, the building of knowledge, and the spreading of ideas, creativity born from interactions with nature, music, art, architecture, and recreation.
State-wise estimates for nature-based tourism services have been derived for 2008-9 and 2014-15 using data from survey on domestic tourism. The estimates show that states like Goa, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and Himachal Pradesh have highest value of nature-based tourism service per square kilometers in 2014-15.
Apart from these, other accounts on thematic areas have also been compiled by NSO India. They include a species richness count calculated for IUCN Red List of Species for versions 2022, 2023, 2021-1 using IUCN Red List Toolbox for ArcMap.
NSO India participated in the European Union funded project Natural Capital Accounting and Valuation of Ecosystem Services launched by United Nations Statistics Division and United Nations Environment Programme. NSO India released the NCAVES India project report as well as policy brief of the SIA ecosystem accounts for India.
NSO India also developed India EVL tool as part of the NCAPES project, which is a searchable, comprehensive database of environmental values unique to India.
There is a growing interest at the policy level to conserve natural resources and also to meet development goals. These policies in turn require adequate and timely quality data. Environmental accounts are a powerful multi-purpose information framework suitable for assessing sustainable development and many other policy areas in the environmental sector.
Considering this, NSO India released a strategy for environmental economic accounts for India, identifying the scope of official environment accounts for the period 2022 to 2026. The strategy identifies the long-term and the short-term activities aligned with the areas that need to be targeted during the period. The strategy will help India move towards the targeted goal of making nature's value visible in economic decision making with an accelerated pace.
NSO India has recently released EnviStats India Glossary and EnviStats India FAQs, which will be useful to the users of EnviStats India to have access to the answers of specific queries pertaining to environment accounts and statistics at a single platform.
Though a lot has been achieved, lot many remains to be achieved. NSO India is constantly striving to enhance the scope and coverage of environmental accounts in India.
Looking forward for your support. Thank you.
Thank you.